Welcome to Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. Backed by popular demand is the intrepid Drake Bailey for another question and answer session. You may want to make some popcorn and buckle your seatbelt. This one will be another wild ride. Here is your host Gail of Gaia with her guest Drake Bailey.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and I have with me Drake Bailey today. And we have a number of questions, and we'll move into them rather quickly. But initially, I think Drake has something to say about the current situation.
Well, a lot of people are real going spastic over the conditions of the market. Well, that virus was only a catalyst that closed down all the shipping. BDI index went, which is Baltic Dry Index, what they ship on the ocean, went negative for its very first time about a week or so ago. It came back to par, meaning that the boats are anchored and nobody is looking to take the boats away from anybody. The situation is such that we've lost over 4,000 points basically, and each one of those points is worth $1.5 trillion. Think about that. Each one of those 1,000 points. So 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 5 is 2, and you end up with $6 trillion. Poof.
Six.
Now this is a combination. Huh?
You say 6 trillion?
Yeah. Poof. Okay. The
About
situation involves the whole planet. Several countries have closed down, Italy being one of them as an example. Most ports, air freight and all that has stopped. The interesting part about this is that I predicted the great financial fall back in 2008. When we first had our first bump up against the financials. The second part of it is very simple. A lot of people have not been paying attention as to what the direction is that people are being pushed to go. The first thing that people must realize is that the new paradigm or situation or condition is that we will have to become independent. And this is going to be on an isolationist type of basis. What it boils down to, I had to adjust this, there we go. Top of my head wasn't in there. What it boils down to is very simply that the push, and this started before Trump became president, but the big push to reinitiate manufacturing in this country, among other things, was because it was known that far back that this was coming. Exactly what's going on right now. Many people who were informed of it poo-pooed it, dismissed it. That can't happen. Well, it's happening. 2 things to watch. Number one is the yields on treasury bonds. When those things get near 0, and they're already under 1 on a couple of them as we speak, when those things start getting towards 0 on a return, that means that it's over. That means that nobody can resurrect or save the system. Our present financial system is designed on the Keynesian ideology, and it has built-in failure points. We've already reached one of those. First and foremost, the 1,500 points off the top doesn't mean anything. That's like the froth on a beer. When you pour it and you don't pour it down the side of the glass, you just dump it in and you get this big head on the beer. Okay, that's what that was. All superficial and artificial horse hockey, only designed to make cash. That was easy. That was gone almost immediately. Then you have your investors from foreign countries. They wanted to sell. They sold, and I mean they sold rapidly. As soon as that first hit was taken, they sold everything. The problem being that now that the borders of almost all the countries are closed to international shipping and people and whatnot, you can't do any business. It's hard to produce things when you can't get the raw materials or can't get certain finished goods to complete something like, say, a Chevy.
Does that mean that our supplies and goods that are available in this country will be diminished somewhat because didn't we turn a lot of our manufacturing and so on over to China?
Well, China's only one part of it. A lot of our stuff's manufactured in Mexico and Canada, as I say, other countries. Yeah. And if you can't get alternators for Chevys, it's kind of hard to run a auto manufacturing plant. It's just that simple. And yeah, China is the main thing that China has or has made available are the rare earth metals and minerals and whatnot that we use in very specialized manufacturing. That's one. Second biggie, and this is huge, a majority of the drugs used here in this country are manufactured in China and delivered here. So now that they cannot deliver, we're going to have to suck it up, jump up and down, and get busy. Now, as far as the coronavirus goes, that basically is the flu on steroids. Okay, it's also and there's a couple of little fun and games in it. In that it's like it's on an acid trip, meaning that it can turn into anything at once at whatever rapidity. However quickly it feels the necessity. Okay, so
that there are actually over 200 different versions of the flu virus, and
yeah, and the thing about certain viruses is they're really easy to play games with, and that's what happened. This is a bioweapon. Okay, I don't think it was an accident that it got turned loose in China. Just to be honest with you, the effects, though, it acts as a catalyst to all this other stuff. How do you stop a disease from spreading? Close up shop, close the door, lock that sucker. Well, Italy, as an example, they're shut down totally. A variety of countries are looking at closing all education systems so that you don't have the direct physical contact that can spread this problem. So where we're sitting is very simple. A lot of the stuff that we have had the convenience of being able to go to the store and snatch aren't going to be available like they have been. So we're going to have to make it.
How long do you think that'll take before we'll see the empty shelves?
Already are.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's some in some large cities that have been cleaned out. And this is not just here. This is all over the place. Similar to what happens prior to a big hurricane that's coming and everybody knows about it. They stock up on certain goods so that they got something to eat. They got batteries for flashlights, water to drink, that sort of stuff.
So those of us who have done some prep, who were scoffed at for doing so, might be glad that we did.
Yes, exactly. The people that prepped and paid attention as to how are going to be the ones that will have food and water and whatnot. Now, there's a couple of problems with that. First of all, you can't let anybody know that you got that stuff. Not under these circumstances. Reason being is you're going to have a large number of people exiting large population centers such as big cities in search of something to eat, some water to drink, that sort of thing. They don't care too much about the shelter part unless it's really cold like it is here right now. In which case you can find a cave and build a fire at the front of it, and it'll warm the whole cave. But a lot of people aren't at that level. They don't. What was really comical was a high school kid who got handed a can opener and could not figure it out. Did not know how to use that can opener. Yeah, right. You have a lot of these wannabes. You have a lot of people out there who think they know something or have gotten by or gotten over by good looks, charm, whatever, when they never have personally. That's, like me or you actually having done something. Consequently, there are a lot of people out there who think that the government ought to change my flat tire for me, kind of. Yeah, right. How long does it take them to even understand that there's a flat tire or what it is, and let alone what to do about it? Then you have the long time it takes them to show up to do anything at all, if they do anything when they get there. So we have a serious effectiveness problem, both on a personal basis and on a structural basis. Society, if this continues, society is going to undergo some truly major changes. Mm-hmm. The basis of the structure of it.
That'd be a good thing, eh?
Well, yeah, it's past time to suck it up and get her done, so to speak. Yeah, a lot of people don't have the capacity. They don't have a clue as to carpentry or plumbing or heating and cooling or building something. They never have had the fun experience of smacking your thumb with a friggin' hammer. I mean, there's a lot of things they're missing. So, the younger generation is in trouble. They can't do for themselves. Therefore, they're going to be looking for somebody who has in order to maybe take it from them. This means they're going to try to get guns and come after people who do have things.
Well, let's hope that they're willing to pitch in and help, because they can start community gardens and they can start different ways for communities to help each other out, kind of unify a little bit and then, carry that out. And that's how, America's pulled together before in time of war. There's no reason why they can't do it now.
Oh, yes, there is.
What, are you going to be a naysayer? Or
Well, have you ever listened to some of these snowflakes? I mean,
well, maybe
when you don't know, come on now, hold up a minute. When you don't know how to operate a can opener,
that's pretty bad.
What does that say about your life experience? Not a whole lot.
Just one kid, though. That's just one out of how many, and they probably like to emphasize and show that.
Well, a lot of them don't know how to change the tire on a car. Some of them don't even know where the gas goes if they stop at a self-service gas station. That's been going all over the internet. This lady's been filling up her radiator with gasoline. That'd be interesting.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Why don't she start that mother up and it gets warm? Who? The problem is that these people think they're all that when they have not gone out into society and exercised the participation that human beings are supposed to have from the get-go. Mom and Dad didn't have intelligence enough to take the baby out and roll it in the dirt so it's got an immune system, among other things. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, this maybe is a generation where both parents had to go out and work in order to make ends meet and have somebody else raise your children, and so parents weren't at home most of the time.
Well, my mom was home until she decided not to be. So she didn't have to work.
That's how we're different, and that's how that whole generation is different, because they didn't have that luxury. You can
Well,
survive on one income. When my dad,
it's not, what I'm saying is this was not a luxury. My dad went out and busted his whatevers in order to make enough to cover the expenses. Real simple.
do that today. It's pretty hard unless you have a really good, super duper occupation, a high paying occupation, for one party to go out there and be able to make enough for the other people to stay at home. That's
Well,
very difficult nowadays.
yeah, well, that's on purpose. I had a memo once back about 10, 15 years ago that called for the destruction of the family unit.
Yeah.
And the manner in which they did that was that you had things like washers and dryers and whatever. And if the price went up, Dad couldn't afford on his own to take care of replacing it. So Mom had to go to work. If you want to maintain that lifestyle, both got to go out there and do something. And that was the innovation or beginning of the convenience society back in the 50s.
Mhm.
And we used to laugh at the cartoons that they had called advertisements. They would have some lady in a spring dress, perfect makeup and hair, cooking up TV dinners. Oh, isn't it lovely? Well, that was the thing back then.
Formula too. That was a big thing too. Instead of nursing.
Yeah. So what they ended up with was to load people's ideology of what you should have. You see it in the commercials. How many commercials do you see that have people that don't even have proper clothes because they can't afford it? Spending their money on some kind of real expensive whatever for the kitty cat. Right.
Yeah, didn't that start the era of one up on the Joneses kind of that they used to talk about? You always want to keep up with the Joneses.
Well, I mean, when I was growing up, if the cat got hungry and didn't have cat food, we tossed that mother out in the bushes. It would come up with a mouse or a bird or something to eat, no question. Well, but anyway, at any rate, what the basis is that the economics, the easy money ideologies are gone, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse. These things that people have become accustomed to, China can't ship it. It don't matter how much. Walmart said, "Oh, we'll spend billions of dollars on things." So if you can't get it shipped, it don't mean nothing. And Walmart, I would have thought they had enough sense, business presence, and whatever to know these things. They didn't know. They had no clue. Now that's just the economics and fun and games here. This is going on worldwide. China can't ship or cannot import or export. Same with Russia. Same with us. Most of Europe is closed down.
Well, we're just show the rest of the world American ingenuity, aren't we?
Well, that's all well and good if you can get that ingenuity to a place where it can be used. That's the problem.
We're gonna have
Nobody realized how sensitive all of these, and I use this term loosely, markets were until this thing popped. Now that it's popped, you have basically a runaway freight train going down a mountain, and there's only a couple of ways to stop it. One is a train wreck, and the other one is hopefully put enough resistance into the process to stop it. The only problem is more than one of the central bankers have stipulated that they don't have the wherewithal to even slow it down much, let alone do anything.
There was another country. I think it might have been Spain. Arrested their bankers.
Yeah. I believe it was Spain. I forget the first country that did that, but I think it was Nova Scotia or Iceland. But
Iceland.
The reason that these people are in trouble is not for any generalized reason other than They conducted business as they always have conducted business. And the people got wise to the fact that we were getting the dirty end of the stick and said, that's the end of that.
Yeah, they were creating money out of thin air, and we had to work 4 hours and then pay high interest on anything extra that we might have needed.
Exactly. So the Fed's talking about cutting interest rates. Whoopee. Hey, guess what, Fed? Won't do a bit of good. Well, we'll print money. That won't do any good either. You can have money is hard. I have not had fried dollar bills that I can remember. So, you can't eat money. Oh, buy gold and silver. Well, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but usually when you have adverse economic conditions, like the market's going down, gold goes up. Not this time. What happened was the oligarchs, the people that had cash, free enough cash to purchase large sums of gold, did so early on. Then all of a sudden, all of their other income sources stopped. That means they had to sell gold, and they're selling. And these are heavy hitters. These are not light duty people. So, and that's only an economic condition. We're going to have to reset the basis or basic structure of society in general. Instead of going after people in terms of, I can get that guy's job. He messed up or whatever. I'm really something. My bank account's fatter than everybody else's. Doesn't mean anything. Not anymore. So,
Maybe that's a good thing. Are you ready for some questions?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, ET is up there doing a combination of a happy dance and laughing their ass off about this.
About the economic situation?
Oh, they think it's hilarious.
Well, they don't
Not the first time.
They don't operate on money anyway, do they? Nobody can wrap their head around that. That's what the problem is down here in 3D thinking. So how can you exist without money?
Well, one of the things that ET's been busy doing is putting together replicators. That will solve a load of problems, and they're putting together billions of them so that we can have enough for everybody to go around. That way people don't go hungry. They got, what they need and all that.
Yeah, because there's no way they're going to be able to whip everything together fast enough to meet everybody's needs that way.
Exactly.
The question is, ask Drake about the ascension. It will not happen because of 5G. It will stop it. It will stop it. None of us will escape this hell on earth that's coming. What do you say about that?
That sounds real positive.
Negative, doesn't it? I don't want to hear that.
That sounds like a bad acid trip to me. The primary thing is this. The technical 5G won't work. The reason it won't is that ET...
In China, it was working, and that's part of
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Well, excuse me, but ET won't allow it. If need be, they will come down and use their weapons against anybody who turns one on. That's first. Number two, they adjusted. Okay, fine. Next question.
No, the reason I said that was that's not what I read, but, because...
Well, that's the thing. You got people out there putting out bad information for a simple reason that they don't want you to know or be prepared in any way, shape, or form. Well, just like this financial horse hockey, okay? The 5G, the technical 5G, man-made, doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because when they turn it on, it either self-destructs, and that's, Mission Impossible, those tape will self-destruct in 1 minute kind of stuff, or it catches fire in a certain specific manner and actually not only eliminates the 5G sending unit, but also burns the tower down. The one that is allowed is organic, goes along with this human frequency, among other things, and it doesn't pose any problems to anything. It just works.
Did you see how high the Schumann resonance was the other day?
That wasn't too high, really.
170?
That's not too high, really. Wait till it gets up around...
Highest it's been so far, though.
Well, it'll get to it. What'll happen is it'll start glowing in the dark. When it gets up to around 300, Okay. And at that point, then you're going to have the waveform change. And when the waveform changes, then the transition is ready to go. And one of the things I'd like to express, everybody out there, quit using ascension. That's religiosity for going to heaven. What we have is a metamorphosis, like the caterpillar turns into a butterfly. It's organic. It happens, and it's going to be helped along by people who are technically capable of doing so. So the transition, it's going to happen just as quick as this. That quick, click, click, just as quick as you flip a switch and the light comes on. Now, when we all of a sudden find out we're in a little different something and something has changed and we're not sure quite what it is, at that point, you're going to start seeing ET land all over the place.
Well,
and they'll be bringing care packages to help us out. They will also supply information and assist people that are having a hard time with it. That's what the program's about. I'm supposed to assist people that are having a hard time as well. I'm one of those people. So this is going to be fun. I just can't imagine the roller coaster ride it's going to turn into.
I'm happy for a change. We want to change. Don't we want to change?
Yeah.
Yucky, and now they can get better and good.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Is Bitcoin a good investment?
No.
Okay.
Bitcoin is not stable and it's not secure.
Okay. So it's going to take a crash at some point.
I don't know about that, but anybody who wants to hack it can just about.
Oh, yeah. They have reports of that already. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. They took 12 million Bitcoin out at one point that I heard about.
Yeah.
And they did. I was thinking about investing. I thought, well, maybe.
I've dabbled in it, but not very much. I have a friend who's good at trading, so. But anyway, okay. Can you talk about the secret space program and when will the extent of its ability to fly deep into space be revealed?
That's coming after Trump gets his, and this is going to be interesting. A regular briefing is where people exchange information. Somebody provides this about that and what the situation is. Okay. These are going to be experiential briefings. It takes about 45 minutes round trip from here to the deep space platform or mothership that we have. And so in what's half of 20 minutes, give or take, Trump will be on the mothership. He will be briefed by a lot of people that know what's going on limitedly, but he'll be briefed. And then he comes back. And what you're going to find is that the ideology of his creation of a fourth branch of the military, as far as space goes, is simply opening the door to reveal what's already there.
Okay. Is there a pyramid in ancient societies buried under the Antarctic?
Yes.
Okay. Is there an ancient alien race living there?
There used to be. I don't know if they're still active.
Okay. Because the next question was, can you chat about this?
Well, sure. There used to be several societies on this planet that were huge in terms of the number of entities involved in it, and whether some of that is still available or still active right now is unknown. Now, I have my own ways of getting information, but I've been asked not to say much about it. So that's about all I can tell you. We are supposed to be able to go in and discover these things. When we do, then there's going to be a lot of fun because you're going to be dealing with a really interesting race of ETs.
They're all interesting, aren't they?
Oh, let the fun begin. Bring the popcorn and get ready.
Why has Trump, there's a rumor going around, why has Trump lost much of his military support?
He hasn't. He's gained it. It's a continual gaining in number and support. The things that are objected to, Trump can take care of with no problem.
Okay.
Minor adjustment, let's say.
Drake, what is the reason why President Trump just made an announcement on the coronavirus? What was the reason?
Made an announcement about the coronavirus
Why did he do
because he needed to go public that it was there, it was nasty, and we are doing everything possible with what we have on hand to deal with it. You also notice that Trump requested that the House approve at least $2.5 billion in order for CDC and other people to fight that thing.
Who would trust CDC? But anyway, okay.
The new guy in charge is clean. Keep watching. There's a lot of people going to get their walking papers from that man.
Good. Okay, that needs to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a business for profit, and that's always a problem. And
The sooner the cleanup starts, the better.
They have those revolving doors with all of these CEOs and high government positions, and it's all to line their pockets, but not the people's pocket.
Oh.
Drake, why should the American people or any patriots in any country have to live through and be able to survive through stores having empty shelves and supply disruptions and a halt in shipping? We keep hearing about the patriots in the military and the white hats being in charge. So then why will the people have to suffer through this?
Well, my goodness, it's called personal responsibility and being able to survive it. Only survivors are going to come out on the other end, and the reason for that is simple. If you ain't worth nothing, can't refuse, all right, not that you can't, but refuse to do what you should, you don't deserve to make it through this.
Well, people have suffered a lot already. If the RV or JSARA or the global currency reset is to occur in the opening of the global collateral accounts, then why won't President Trump just get with the program and make an announcement to the American people? What's going to happen in that regard? Why can't that be taken care of? Why should people have to suffer, basically?
Oh, does them need them's diaper changed and their butt powdered? The nanny state horse hockey stops with the individual. Either you will, and this is interesting, feed yourself, or you go hungry. That's where this is at.
What about the Congress people? Are they going to have to go hungry too?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to be the first on the list.
Well, won't that be nice?
Oh, yeah. We get to see them suffer like they've been doing to us.
Yes, people are used to suffering. They're thinking, when are we ever going to get some relief or a break or what have you?
The transition to 4D is going to rectify most of the problems that humanity has. Bear that in mind. You get out of the 3D test tube horse shit where you got old age, squeeze them and see what comes out and all that happy stuff.
Well,
that stops when we transition.
I wish this transition would get on with it then.
Well, me too. I'm pushing, but the cart don't want to go down a hill too easy.
Okay, Drake, what would you say accounted for the Dow Jones dropping 1031 points and over 800 points the next day? What and who is responsible?
Well, the coronavirus is the catalyst. A catalyst is like the fuse you light for a firecracker. When it gets to where it's going, boom, okay? The catalyst scared the whatever out of everybody, and everybody started shutting up, going in the house, closing the door, and locking it to make sure that they didn't get the stuff. And so countries have been reacting similarly. The reason that you don't have shipping internationally is simply that the containers and or the ships may be contaminated with a bug.
And you might get the flu or a cold.
Yeah, you might get a case of the GI runs, like politicians every 4 years get the runs.
Okay. How many days or weeks do you think this will affect us?
How many who?
Days or weeks do you think this will affect us, this short?
Well, first of all, it's going to collapse, and secondly, it'll be replaced. And thirdly, we have about 2 years of grace period during which time we are to reinitiate manufacturing for our own benefit. Underwear, Toilet paper is important. A lot of people don't think so, but it's a lot more. Okay, there are critical items involved in all of this that we need to make for ourselves. You won't see made in China. You will not hear that old adage, oh my goodness, manufactured in India and assembled in China by Mexicans. Ooh, will it blow up when you hit the toaster? I mean,
Well, shouldn't that be, some kind of stimulus for small businesses?
do who?
Wouldn't that be a situation that would, some type of stimulus for small businesses would be really beneficial?
Well, yeah, the stimulus is already there. You have a whole bunch of small businesses that do minor manufacturing levels. In other words, not a whole lot. You have people that grow produce and all this other happy stuff that we're going to be sorely missing. The little widgets that we used to buy from China are going to have to come from, I don't know, the cave in the Rocky Mountains or some other place. We have swampland in Florida, and the problem is that we don't have the intelligence to see one of the answers right in front of us. It's called the illustrious iguana. Them friggin' lizards that are so nasty also have the capability of producing anti-everything in terms of their health. Well, my goodness, maybe we need to start processing iguanas. I never ate one, but I heard that they're all right. What?
I don't eat animals or dead animal cells. It just goes against my.
No, but I'll tell you what you do. Here's the fun. The Inuit, better known as the Eskimo people, are scared to death. And I mean scared shitless. And the reason why is that people who eat plants are eating live entities. And they're scared to death that they're going to be eternally damned for that process. Ooh, think about that.
What?
Yeah, check it out. It's around. The information's out there. There's several elders that have commented exactly that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what you need to do is get a book called The Secret Life of Plants. This will explain to you how to approach a plant when you want to take its fruit or consume some of its leaves. The gist of it is that you're not to kill the plant. Think about that one very carefully.
That's why a fruitarian would probably be the most ideal way to eat, because then you would just pick the fruit off the tree. Because if
you ask permission, you talk to the tree.
Well, do you talk to the animals before you kill them?
I do. Have you seen Avatar? If not, you need to see it.
Avatar too.
Well.
But anyway, yeah. I still don't believe in eating animals.
Okay.
That's my own thing. So the next question is, my question is this: didn't the deep state just score some kind of victory by being able to launch this coronavirus?
No. The deep state originated all of it, but they were not exactly the ones responsible. There's a criminal organization that is prevalent in that Chinese village that did it. They're the ones that caused it to come loose and be able to escape from the laboratory.
Well, isn't it interesting that Mr. Bill Gates turned himself over to the Chinese government?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Well, what I say? Ask the question again, and I'll explain the no.
It wasn't a question, it was a statement. I had read that he had turned himself over to the Chinese government because he was in fear of his life.
Well, that's the wrong place to go. So I'm going to say no. I mean, anybody who has any kind of working matter up here between ears that it has an intellect higher than room temperature knows that you don't trust the government. There's an Indian sign out there, okay? Homeland Security, turn your guns in, the government will take care of you. Oh, you want to clean up the corner congregations that form in all these places? Walk up and say, I'm from the government, I'm here to help, and watch the elbows and whatever's going across fences and down the block fast as they can get away from it.
Okay. Um, there was talk, someone asked about who was going to manufacture the vaccine that you talked about.
Okay, those are independent labs, and I mean fully independent.
But at
They don't answer. They do not answer to anybody. The only requirement is that it's not a vaccine. It's a shot. It can be taken orally as well. The only requirement is you have the antigen and clinically pure water. Those are the only ingredients. That's why Big Pharma wanted to get in on the pie. Ooh.
That won't work as a vaccine anyway. I mean, that will never get, that won't.
It's not a vaccine. It is an antigen.
Antigen.
It stops it cold in its tracks.
I can't agree with that. I don't.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. Listen to me. Get in touch with Israel, because they're using a liquid form that's taken orally that works 100%.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Well, they've also banned 60 megahertz either, or gigahertz. But anyway, which is considered a stimulant. But anyway, the whole vaccine thing is a farce, because why would you? That's supposed to be for a more preventive type thing, not after the fact. That's what doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, this is the thing. This can be taken before the fact and prevented.
I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but that's me. Anyway.
Okay, then what you got to do is use a combination of zinc, Host Defense. Get you a little tube of Neosporin and put it around your nostrils. And wash your hands about every 10 minutes.
I'm a nutritionist. I know how to take care of it. Did Harvard professor Charles Lieber create the latest coronavirus? Was he the creator?
I missed part of that.
Did Harvard professor Charles Lieber create the latest coronavirus, the one with all the extra inserts?
He worked on it.
Okay. Did the CIA fund the creation of the coronavirus?
The CIA was involved as well.
Yeah, they always are, aren't they?
not just creation of it, but
release.
Some of their associates are the ones who turned it loose.
Okay.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nasty.
Same ones involved with 9/11 and stuff like that.
Oh, no, that was not anybody from the States. That was from outside with permission.
Okay. What causes the magnetic field of the Earth?
Do who?
What causes the magnetic field of the Earth? That's from the same line of questions. I don't know, but it's
well, magnetism is caused by current in a conductor. And it's not magnetism that you're probably referring to. You're probably thinking of gravity. Gravity is an original condition. And I'm not going to explain it unless you got about 5 or 6 hours of heavy instruction. I need a blackboard,
More important than the magnetic field, and my question would be is, what's going on with the timelines? Anything new and exciting?
Yeah, the timelines are being straightened out, and that's why you're seeing the changes from people who were aggressive to a more placid or calm state. That's what's happening with that. Now, that goes along with preparations for the transition. That means ET and a bunch of us are helping it all get ready.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I would like to know exactly how the frequencies from the med beds heal a person, and it's my understanding that frequency healing takes some time with several treatments. Is this true?
No, well, sometimes it depends on the individual, first of all. Secondly, it depends on what the affliction is. And third, and this is the hard part, being able to fully adjust through the full spectrum. Now, people don't know what a spectrum is. Like, you have a visible light spectrum. That's the area in which you can see the colors or whatever. A full spectrum in this type of biotechnology involves several things. All of the base frequencies are the same in terms of dealing with, say, bones or your butt hurts or whatever the affliction is. All of those are basically the same. Then you have the biology of the individual. That then adjusts waveform and the frequency itself. Third, you have the problem, and this is the problem with most of the vibratory physics, finding the point of resonance in the cellular structure of what the problem is. When you get to that point, then anything you do, it makes it better. Okay?
Very individually based on a person's DNA and any damages or any.
Well, the thing about DNA is that it is primarily a programmed biological programmed response mechanism. Okay, and it responds to the combinations of things that are very complex. Each individual having different fingerprints. Ooh, how many different resonant frequencies do individuals have? A lot of them are fairly close, and some of them are way out there. It varies, and you have to be able to adjust your equipment accordingly so that you treat the person correctly.
Alrighty then. That makes, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Where do we, I lost my place here. What do I say to my kids who are in their 20s, who have been working hard and are responsible? What do I say to them when they see the kids of wealthy families getting their schooling paid for, everything paid for them, going on vacation all the time, never having to work for everything? What do I say to my daughter's friend who doesn't care if the world ended tomorrow, because then it would be over with no more worries about bills and rent and more bills to pay? This kind of sounds like a victim mentality.
Well, that's part of it, but the other part is that people that are in that sort of condition or situation need to be reminded that they are doing things honestly. They're not operating on stolen money or stolen property or exorbitant rents or things that are incorrect on a moral basis. So, keep up the good work and keep going. This is all going to come to an end pretty quick, believe me.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's good to hear.
Ooh, the fun is about to fasten your seatbelt. You're going on a roller coaster ride. You ain't going to believe.
It's funny because it's like a lot of the light workers I know are some of the people experiencing the most problems. Geez,
yeah. Those are the most sensitive people to the situations and auxiliaries of the transition coming. The preparation for which deals with, they have adjusted the Earth orbit on several occasions recently. I even saw one of them accidentally. Happened to be looking in the right spot at the right time. There's a whole bunch of things that goes into all this, and they have to be as correct as possible before we get there. Real simple.
Okay. Oh, do the election restrictions, or are there election restrictions on Hillary and Michelle Obama running for, say, vice president?
Both of them have been told that if they get in any way, shape, or form get involved in the presidential politics, they will be summarily executed.
Whoa, really?
I would suggest that they're not really going to be too interested at that kind of a high price.
Wow, okay.
What are you going to do? I mean, I think it's great. I'd like to rub Schumer's nose in it, but that's just me.
Well, have been rather treasonous. Anyway, Benjamin Fulford is saying that his sources have told him that white people tend to have a natural immunity to the coronavirus due to the way our lungs are structured. Apparently, we have different receptors in our lungs than that the coronavirus can't attach to as easily, along with a special inhibitor. Is that true?
That's the best line of horse hockey I've heard from Ben Fulford in years. Show me how the flu picks and chooses its victims.
Yeah.
Oh, it waits till you ain't ready. You're not prepared. You ran out of Kleenexes and toilet paper, and it hits you. You get the runs. Your nose tries to drown you. You get oh boy, yeah. Everybody really wants to give you a big hug when you're snotting down your face. Oh yeah.
I can't remember the last time I had flu. Knock, knock, knock on wood. Anyway.
There you go.
And stay healthy or do things.
Ben comes off with some really good ones there every once in a while. That was a pretty good one.
Practice healthy habits. Okay. Apostle Paul never truly converted, and he was essentially a well-versed, smooth-talking plant in the early Christian movement.
You want to run that one by me again? I feel like I missed something.
I don't know where that one came from, but anyway.
Okay, well, let's go to the next question. We'll just let that one ride.
Yeah, we won't get into that. I didn't like that guy anyway. This future world you speak of sounds great, but there's a lot more to life for civilized humans than food, water, clothing, and shelter. How will people acquire things like original works of art or things that can't be replicated when there's no money? See, people have a hard time with that.
It's very simple. Paint it yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody's got some kind of great work within their soul, be it a picture, a song, something.
Yeah, and then the other part of it is you keep forgetting is when we get into the next dimension, you're going to learn how to manifest things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just like the replicator is really kind of transitional. After a while, you just be able to make it.
Yeah.
Okay, what if I want a jar? Oh, here we go again.
Of what?
A jar of sauerkraut or a painting or sculpture, but don't have something they want for trade or can't provide them a service they want.
You got to learn to make some things, specifically those items that are fermented, to include all forms of alcohol, as well as sauerkraut, yourself.
This is where it goes on to say, isn't that why money was invented in the first place?
No, money was invented so that we didn't have to carry around 5,000 pounds of gold with us.
Not to mention that. Oh.
Not only is it hard on your pockets and fills up your pants and makes them sag, but anybody looks can tell that you got it. And hey, well, definitely want to borrow some from you.
Yeah, it really works really well in a slavery system too, because you can keep people down by keeping them from getting it. But that's a whole other story. The descriptions of life on other planets, on other shows like the Pleiades, they still have crime to the level that people get banished from their planets. Will there still be crime in criminals like the Dark Cabal in the future? And how will we deal with them?
You're looking at a very rare commodity in that term, and by that I mean there's only a very few that can get past what is known as the filtration system, detection, that sort of thing. Most of that will be taken care of. Yes, each and every last planet, all societies have some kind of somebody who thinks they can get over on everybody, and when they find those people out, they try re-education. And this is a big if it's a serious case of insanity, they send them to a prison planet. There are several of those within our galaxy.
Well, it seems like we could fill a couple up with some of our politicians.
No, we want to keep them here so we can torture them.
Oh, okay. Well, I could put them on a planet where they have to fend for everything, grow their own food, build their own house, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And fight amongst each other. Okay.
That's my hammer.
You said the arrest of the bad guys had begun. When will we actually see arrests, preferably Roger Stone style, or is that just for Trump?
That's going to become very public very soon. I'm going to tell you late spring, early summer. And that's just a generalized guesstimate as to the time frame. I've been told when, but I'm not allowed to talk about specifics. So
do that anyway, because then if something happens or it changes, then people get all.
Can you imagine the screech you'd hear if somebody walked up to Nancy Pelosi while she was getting ready to swing her gavel
Mhm.
and somebody put a silver handcuff, a silver, brand new handcuff, silver bracelet on her. Can you imagine? Put the hammer down. Put your hands behind you. Can you imagine that? I'll bet that thing would echo from coast to coast.
Okay. Will we ever see televised confessions from the dark cabal deep state actors of their various nefarious deeds and policy goals?
Yes, there's an interrogation location that is going to start producing videos. You'll love it.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. When you take a taser, all right, not the kind that you shoot, but like a cattle prod.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've ever seen a cattle jump when you hit. Okay, think about somebody hooking it up to places you shouldn't have that sort of thing hooked up to, and you begin to get the idea that maybe you might want to talk, and all you got to do is zap one of them, and I guarantee you all 5,000 of the rest of them are going to hear about it and go, I'm talking, don't do that.
I just think the cops have been tasing people. It's on the same order, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you gotta have fun with somebody. They've been doing it to us. Now it's our turn.
Exactly. You know how the traitors like Obama, Pelosi ship will be executed? They are responsible for untold suffering, so it needs to be people as painful in public as possible. Not
I
that
have requested to do one or more of them with a 12-gauge shotgun up close and personal. We'll see how it goes. The executions can be a variety of different ways. The executions that are put out and mitigated and exercised upon people will be military style. So you can forget the nice, oh, we're going to inject them so they don't feel no pain. Oh, no, you don't. We're going to hook him up to Grand Coulee Dam and turn the juice on. We're going to fry the dog. We want them to suffer just like we did, at least for a few seconds. Now, what that does, a lot of people don't understand what that does. Everybody has a soul pattern, okay? You have what is known as, everybody says, oh, the soul. No, you have the biological thing. That's our physicality, our physiology. You have the soul life, which is your character and what operates this machine. And third, you have the spirit. The spirit, 9 times out of 10, 9,999 times out of 10,000 is right on. It's correct, it's honest, it's truthful. Okay, that's the spirit. The rest of the system goes, hey man, look at what I can get if I bend the rules a little bit. Whether it's money, power, or whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, what something like electrocution does, or hanging, or whatever, the suddenness of the loss of life triggers reactions within these 3 systems. Your body stops, okay, but the soul life force is a measurable quanta of energy that, a little thingy, okay, and the interesting thing is that it permanently marks the soul pattern, so that is not only recognized but can be attended to in such a manner that that sort of problem never happens again. In other words, that person might be taken and put back into something that looks just like what they looked like before, but they're a totally different person. I know that may be hard to believe, but there it is. That's what I have been schooled and told. Okay.
interesting. Okay. Yeah, I have a hard time imagining. I mean, I don't even want to imagine, executions and all that sort of thing, even though they certainly are.
It's not very messy.
But it's just not something I like to see. I would.
Nobody says you got to watch.
I won't. And get them on a planet someplace and make them fend for themselves without anything. They have to get everything.
That is another distinct possibility. Certain cases are hardcore and considered incurable. They will definitely go visit the outer moons of Timbuktu land. So there it is.
From scratch. Totally.
We got to do something with them, and if they're useless here, you might as well send them someplace where they have a choice. They can either be useful to themselves or die. Ooh.
Okay. Why is Lieutenant Colonel Vindman being allowed to serve out his time while continuing to get paid and receive benefits on our dime?
Who's this?
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman?
Oh, well, think about it this way. Where is the worst place in the world that a traitor would want to go? Would you believe the Pentagon, where you got all these patriots in there going, we don't like you very much. Well, he opens his door, his desk drawer, and there's a rattlesnake in it. Ooh. Or they catch him in the bathroom, toss an alligator in there. Think of something fun to do to the guy. And I guarantee you, I absolutely guarantee that the United States military, in a place as large as the Pentagon, will consider all kinds of different mental aberrations, self-torture techniques where they don't do anything to you, but you think they did. Oh my God. Ooh, paranoia strikes deep. Into your life it will creep. Hello to my nightmare. Welcome to the fun.
Well, what's funny about it, though, is, they put people like Chelsea Manning in prison, Julian Assange in prison. Anyway, it would seem like it says here, how is that not worthy of a dishonorable discharge?
Well, because they want to torture him for a while first.
Oh, that could be coming, you mean?
Yeah, well, think about playing mind games.
Okay.
Well, you hit a certain key on the typewriter and it blows a hole in the paper. How many different things can you think of to do to the guy? I want to take a leak and the bathroom tried to bite me. I'm not sure how to take that.
He's going on. He's really having a fit about this, whoever this is. He's seriously expected to believe professionals in the Pentagon are going to risk their careers, making him feel uncomfortable and want to quit. Give me a break. Maybe the people who came up with that would like to pay his salary and benefits from their paycheck until that happens. Traitors deserve no pay, only jail.
No, they're going to have some fun with the guy first. Then maybe the jail and all that comes about because he will eventually talk to somebody.
An elected official voting against the Constitution, like we're seeing in Virginia, not qualify for felonious treason.
Well, you don't need to do that. What you need to do is to take them and use their oath of office, which is a requirement and a legal condition and a bunch of other things, to similar to the oath of service I took when I joined the military, to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Oops, they're not doing that. All the red flag laws that people have initiated can have everybody involved in it removed from office. It is illegal without due process to play games with somebody's property, and that's what they intend to do. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of gunfights over that. You watch. You want to take my shotgun? Well, here, pull on it. And you get your finger on the trigger. He pulls on it. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know it was loaded. Oops.
If an official is impeached or removed and allegedly they are no longer able to hold public office again, how is it that one Democrat who was impeached as a judge now sitting in Congress?
Well, that's because somebody didn't enforce. Enforcement is the key. Oh.
Yeah.
If somebody enforces the law and somebody enforces the oath of office, once a person violates their oath of office, it doesn't matter if it's, service oath or what oath it may be, they're all basically the same. And the thing is that these people, once removed, okay, and by it now, there's a difference between removal for violating or breaching the oath of office and a recall or impeachment. There is a difference. They need to hit him with the oath of office. When they do that, then he can be he is automatically blackballed by the law.
Ah, okay. Why is it so hard to fire government employees?
Why is it so hard to find what?
Why is it so hard to fire government employees?
Well, because they're not going about it right. It's very simple. You don't fire them. You have them arrested for whatever reason and have them removed from the property. At that point, they have to prove that they have to wait until the adjudication is done and prove their innocence and a few other things before they're even considered to be allowed back on. Then you can hit them with any old other thing you can think of.
Does Bill Barr have adequate protection?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's up in the area of Trump, not quite as complete and absolute, but close.
Okay. What about John Durham?
John is really something. He's got the very absolute best spooky agents you ever seen in your whole life as buddies while he walks around and gets information that's going to literally fry these suckers. We can throw them in the bonfire of legality.
Why isn't leaking classified information and or lying to authorities automatically punishable with jail time from an employee like it is for us?
It is. Oops.
Well,
Trump's been jumping up and down about that. He's asking Barr to do something about that for the simple fact that you got all these dingle-dings that thinks it's cute to write in the New York Times or Washington Post, where classified information. Oops. You don't do that. Just that simple. Okay, now they can take their license to produce a newspaper away. They can take a broadcast license. They can take anything they want when you do that.
they need to do that to set some examples. Actually.
Yeah. You do it one time to one. What you need to do is pick somebody out in different forms of media. One would be broadcast. Another would be print, newspaper. Third one would be the magazines people see. What they need to do is just make an example of one of each.
Nice big one. Okay.
Come with me, boy. You're in a heap of trouble.
How is it fair to go after General Flynn, Roger Stone, Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, or even Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer, who was sent to jail for lying to Congress, but Comey, McCabe, Brennan, and Clapper get book deals in cable news contributor contracts? Why?
Well, that's that double standard that Trump is hollering about. We need to bring these people to justice, and it's beginning. It's a slow process. You got to slog through a shitload of information, documentation, and this and that and other things. You got to make sure that your legalities are perfectly in a row. If they're not perfectly in a row, the judge can say bye-bye. And once that case is dismissed, you got real problems starting it over. So why Barr is taking so long, and the reason that there is such a seeming delay is so that everything can be perfectly ready. So when he pulls the trigger, bang, a bullet hits its mark.
Oh, they sure don't take that kind of time with the little people, though, do they?
No, they just do a number on you.
Yeah, and they just let you sit there in jail too. So
Exactly. They should do the same shit to these guys, and I guarantee you, the justice system, our jail system, would change dramatically almost immediately. Oh my God, look at what they're doing.
yeah, they should have to do that. They should all be sitting in jail right now. That's the way.
Well, they should strip them down and put them in orange jumpsuits. I mean,
Exactly.
and we want the video of them when they strip down. Ew, why do you want that? I need to maybe scare some critters out of my backyard. I show them that, and it will run.
Oh my God. Okay.
Have you seen Little Round Nader, haven't you? Think about that boy with no clothes. And, oh man, I don't want to see that or imagine it. Oh man, yuck.
I'd say, okay, here's another one. Let's see this. I hope nobody like Trump, Barr, Ray, and those associated with QAnon or anybody else in those circles is surprised by people's frustrations and comments or questions asked on your show. Barr's been there for over a year and Ray well over 2 years, and we're still seeing stuff like Roger Stone, General Flynn, Assange, Comey, McCabe, and Democrats pivoting from one hoax to the next like they're playing hopscotch. The plan really needs a detailed explanation once it's completed. I thought there was going to be a question at the end of that, but that was just a statement. So
that's pretty much a statement of a problem everybody's looking at. And I'll say it again. It takes a long, considerable amount of time, effort, and manpower to put together something that there's no wiggle room. There's no outs. You can't sidestep. Your lawyer, if they get funky, will be put away. Okay, lose his license and get put in jail. They don't want none of that, but they want to be prepared to be able to do that to these dinks that desperately deserve prosecution.
yeah, how long is this going to take? I mean, you know,
You're looking at this beginning to happen fairly quickly.
I think
The financial problems we got will have to be one of the causes for resets in society in general. One of the major things that's going to be reset is a return to law and order. And it don't matter if somebody likes it or not, but it's going to be law and order. It will be absolutely applied to each and every last swinging whatever out there, to include law enforcement, FBI, CIA, NSA, Homeland, all of it is going to be raked over the coals. So we're looking at some major changes. A lot of people that they don't expect are going to go to jail.
yeah.
Long term.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it true that Justice Scalia was murdered?
Yes and no. How about that one? Sometimes people volunteer to be suicided. Think about that as an application to what the question deals with. Then you get into the situation of, really? I didn't know that was possible. Guess what? Ain't no limitations on this stuff.
He's got two theories here, and I guess he was asking if you could confirm either one. One was that he was murdered by the dark cabal with a heart attack gun to make way for an Obama appointee because he was standing in their way. Or number two, he was murdered by one of his male sexual assault victims.
Try the Obama administration. That's closer to the truth. If you take a really close look into it, you really do some research, you really do some investigative reporting, you can come up with the truth.
Okay. Can you? Okay, let's just leave it at that. Let's see. The bad guys have sure had no issues murdering patriots, so why doesn't the president's private army just go around executing all the traitors, like with the heart attack guns? That could set up a pretty dangerous precedent.
Guess what's coming?
Oh, that's coming?
Exactly that. They're going to go around summarily. You give them a choice. Come peaceably or execution. Choose. A lot of these old podunks that got oh boy, have a banana butt that is molded to the chair will choose to come peaceably. Now, here's the deal. Anybody objects or plays games or tries to do anything while they're being escorted, the escorts have license and permission to break things. And if you don't want certain things broke, you don't do none of that.
Okay.
Fun yet? Ooh.
Why is Trump and QAnon obsessing over bringing the sleepers up to speed when they would happily line us up for a firing squad?
Good question.
Shouldn't they get the same shock and surprises we've enjoyed?
Oh, yeah. And then some.
I
I suggest that we hook up certain portions of certain people's anatomy to things that they don't want to be hooked up to and turn it on. See if they light up or glow in the dark.
Oh, how are they?
We got to take this thing by this mess and grab hold of it and choke it to death.
Oh,
I'm having fun. This is the most fun I've had in a while.
how are they ever going to be brought up to speed if Democrats and their lackeys in the media and big tech are allowed to continue lying, spinning, ignoring stories, and banning people?
Well, that's very simple. they have a choice. Do you want to exist? Real simple. It's a real one-sided choice, I admit, and it's not real conducive to diplomatic means, but gets the message across.
Oh, when is the government going to acknowledge far left extremism as passionately as it does far right?
Do what?
When is the government going to acknowledge that the far left, like Antifa and people like extremism, as passionately as it does the far right?
Oh, that's coming real soon. That law and order thing encompasses all this happy stuff. The situation is simple. You got people that never did anything in their whole life, mostly students or young people that haven't lived long enough to have experiences that they need to make comprehensive decisions. Okay, they're going to be suddenly educated the hard way. I don't know if anybody's ever been close to an explosion where you can feel it. I rest my case.
Okay, let's see. What do we got else? Well, a lot of people send in statements more so than questions.
I noticed that.
They're wanting to get their opinion out there, I guess.
Yes.
I gotta get to the next one. Why will we ever be rid of the Democrat Party?
Yes. The Democrats have violated each and every last one of them that goes along with any of the fun and games, has violated their oath of office. And all you need is the Marine Corps, and you go in there and you grab them by the hair of the head if they got any hair left, and say, "Hey, you in a heap of trouble, boy. Come with me." And you do this en masse. You do this to all of them. One of the things that's been going on, a lot of people didn't listen to me about Antifa. Ooh, well, guess what? There have been agents who have followed you home. We know where you live. We have a comprehensive list. Start any fun and games ever again, we're going to wait till you go home. Then we're going to pull a raid on your mom and dad's house that you happen to live in the basement of and abscond with your butt.
Okay, next question. Why was the Secret Service preventing Hillary from being served a subpoena from Tulsi Gabbard over Hillary accusing her of being a Russian asset?
Well, good question. How come we're not seeing enforcement? How come we're not seeing justice? Well, it's real simple. It's not being done yet. It's coming.
How long we gotta wait?
Exactly. Well, the thing is, it's going to be done in such a manner that these people won't have any defense and no out. In other words, there's a lot of them have Learjet or capabilities of international travel. Well, guess what? Go ahead and screw with the Air Force and see how quickly you turn your plane around. What?
Who's going to do the actual enforcement, the actual arresting of these characters?
I hope that I get to. I'd like to have a little target practice. That'd be fun.
Okay, I'm still asking about, I'm going to skip those questions. We've gone over the sauerkraut and the replicators and fermented. We're not going to do it again.
I like sauerkraut. Come on now.
Okay, we are having the same fake weather manipulation over the coast of California to create a drought. Is there anything the Galactics can do about these machines about 300 miles in the ocean off San Jose that evaporate all of our rain?
Yes, that is going to be attended to and taken care of. I've been working on some of it by blowing up the weather control machines in the mountains. So, and ET is just grateful as all get out that, they're busy. Really busy. So anything that I do that assists, they're more than happy to see. They love it.
Okay, good. Let's see. Trump keeps saying that the virus will not be so bad. Is that because he has created an electronic wall to keep out the weaponized 5G to protect us?
That's great. The virus is not going to have as much of an effect simply because they can put the antigen in our drinking water. You don't even know you take it, and you won't, but you just simply won't get it. I like that. That that made my day when I got told that one.
You ingested a lot of smart dust, whatever that's going to do too. It's a whole nother story. If any government or ET group or AI running the show is the head of this system, who's to say that if we want freedom, the ETs or powers that be don't shut our money card off for good?
No. It's not that kind of a system. Can't be done that way. What the situation is very simple. It'll be initiated and it will be loosely managed. That's very generalized direction by ET and us. That's people in conjunction with ET. What will take place is very simple. No one will have that power. That sort of ends that real quick if you think about it.
These kind of general, are there specific groups, like are they Andromedans, are they Pleiadians, are they Arcturians, are they...
These are people that have initiated the same sorts of systems all over the galaxy, in different worlds, different entities than just human. Okay, and the thing that they did was, at first, they didn't know too much what they was doing. They figured it out. They adjusted. They do it again. Okay, over time, they have pretty much perfected the system. It works 100%. It's impervious to everything. Nobody can shut it off. I mean, and all that stuff. Okay.
Okay. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Please answer these musings of mine in detail. Don't leave anything out. So here we go.
Right.
Is this the way you and the missus want to live? I don't want ET to tell me where to live. I have a house. I don't want to be told anything. I want to wake up every day and do what I want to do, not what I'm told to do. Controlled? Question mark. Do you get my drift? Sounds like some kind of government that Bernie wants. Ever heard of live free or die?
Well, let's put this all in perspective. The system gets reset, gets initiated. Everybody lives within some sort of a system. It's not as much a deviation from the system we have now, except that it cannot be used as a weapon against somebody. People, and this is neat, neither people nor ET will tell anybody, thou shalt live over in the hole in the wall that we made for you over there. That's not happening. Pretty much everybody's freedom will be enhanced, not lessened. So, you have to understand that the capability of technology, when it's applied correctly, can take care of a lot of people's needs in terms of the place they already live in, as an example, etc. It goes on and on and on. In terms of detail, no, you're not going to get absolute detail from me.
All right, well, guess what? That was the last question I had.
Do what?
Some more might have come in today, but I didn't get to check anymore, but we're pretty well finished.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
If there's anything else that you'd like to add about the galactics or the geopolitical situation or anything like that, as a sum up or the ending here, please do so.
All right, very simply, you're not going to be subjugated. Nobody is going to be subjugated, as has happened in the past. The system will be retooled and reorganized so that cannot happen. You're not going to have these crooks, master crooks, running around screwing everybody out of 2 cents property tax or whatever's going on. Things like property taxes, gone. Think about that. Things like an income tax, gone. Well, why? Because the government can stand on its own as it represents the people, and no other way. Anytime that it deviates from that, the people involved in whatever that is are negated. They're taken out of their position and they're replaced immediately. So instead of seeing a crook, whomever it may be, running around loose going, nah, 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 you're going to see a big difference in terms of a combination of attitude, effectiveness of governance is simply the general direction of the will of the people. Well, what is the general direction of the will of the people? Well, Bernie Sanders says he's a socialist. When socialism takes control over everything, what do? Well, it's really simple. It's already been answered. Nobody's paying attention. Socialism means, and can be translated directly to, replicator. What kind of freedom would a replicator give you? Think about that very carefully. Oh, food to eat, clothes to wear, parts, not big ones, but parts that you might need for something. The healing capability of a replicator is something that people have not explored yet. Now I'm talking about us. We will get advanced classes on the healing aspects of a replicator, like when you turn it on and leave the door open and what you can adjust within yourself accordingly. There are healing computers. There are med beds. There, all of this goes and goes. Somebody that's infected, well, that's simple. Scotty, beam me up. The reason they do that is because there is a biofilter, and it takes all of the stuff that ain't you out. Throws it in the trash, spits it out in space, and then they put you back. Oh, I feel so much better. It's kind of like being constipated and finally taking a real satisfying epiphany in the bathroom. That's exactly what the differential between what we got now and the life that's coming. That's how much of a differential it is. We will no longer have a constipated government that gets the runs every 4 years and decides what we should think, how we should feel about that. Okay, very simply, responsibility is going to be one of the keys that they're going to use in this society to put the responsibility on the person according to their actions. This includes things like, abortion, oh my God, no. War, no. All these things are passe, they're gone. So you can look, like I said, you can look forward to true freedom once and for all. And I love the idea.
I do too. Nothing like being free to be me.
Yeah. I might even start eating daisies or something. What? Daisies are good. You ain't ever ate a daisy. You act that way.
I didn't hear. I thought you said something else, but that's okay. Good, Daisy.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you so much, Drake. And I think that's a wrap for this week's show. And
I think we had more fun on this show than we have in quite a while.
Yeah.
At least I did. I don't know. Maybe you might not, agree with some of that.
That was good. Thank you so much. You have
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, shoot.